while, having a notice board for people living with dementia can be useful.
You said we were going out for a meal Sunday.
Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't mention going out for a meal at all. No, I didn't.
Who was going?
In Alzheimer's disease in particular, not in vascular dementia, not in Lewy body, the first part of the brain that's affected is an area called the hippocampus. And the hippocampus is concerned with taking in new information and then finding the right location to store that in.
I certainly not mentioned going out for a meal.
It's Sunday.
This conversation takes place at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And the meal is at 5:80. 5:70.
Clearly, the notice board is now part of the problem rather than a solution.
If you said to me, you're going to the doctor's today at 3 o'clock, there's no way I'm going to remember that. But if I had a real emotional connection, so you're going to go and see Marjorie at 3 o'clock, oh, and she's my best mate, and we're going to have clotted cream, and the emotional tie is there. It's exciting, it's interesting. So I might remember that. But simple things like 3 o'clock, doctor,
What I'm trying to do is find a number that I can call.
What about that? Sharon and Emily?
Who are they?
Even I may look at you and go, yeah, 3 o'clock, doctor, and then half an hour later I'll say, what are we doing this afternoon? Where are we going? That's a very common thing.
Everybody else is out except us.
Eh? Yes, I can't understand why there's no service.
Missed appointments and muddled time clocks can be frustrating for those in a care role, but Jane Mullins is trying to get us to change our focus.
I'm really interested in what's called rementia, and it is actually this term for trying to reignite things, or trying, if we don't focus too much on loss, let's focus on what the person can still do. We might actually be quite surprised at how we can hold the person there.
How far away is it? Can we walk it?
How far is what away?
Pardon?
How far is what away?
The place where we would go to if we went.
Where would we go to? Darling,
What's the date at the moment?
Date? I don't know that either. Look.
I'll tell you now, people with dementia can still problem solve. It might not be the same way as we do, but if you give them a problem, they are going to try and problem solve. And it might not always work out the way that we thought or the way that we planned.
Should be able to get sound on 6, shouldn't you? Oh, there you are, that's TV.
What are you seeing?
Digital TV. So if that's the picture, where does the sound come through? You must have put it on sometimes for
To me?
Yeah.
I can imagine that living with dementia might sometimes feel like trying to perform tasks under the influence of alcohol.
It's only a simple television set, right?
Zoe has a more sober example.
The scenario I usually give to carers is going on holidays, having a lovely time, coming back from the airport and getting in the car for the first time after a holiday, and how you really have to focus on what you're going to do. Where are the gears? How am I going to drive? Do I know my way home? Have I got everything? You're really on high alert. And for a person with dementia or on entering anything new, that's how you feel. You're having to really use all of your reserves of your concentration in order to do the everyday things that actually you know how to do. You're just unable to feel confident and access all of that instruction and manage that instruction at that time.
Everyday activities like dressing can be a challenge. Dad loved this photo, thought it was hilarious. But when you've always been a snappy dresser, it can be upsetting for family in particular.
I see her in the same stuff day in, day out. And I think she just sees the things on the floor or wherever. She puts them at night and she goes, oh, I'll put those on in the morning. It's everything my mum wasn't. And that's really sad. Her hair looks terrible most of the time. When she does try with putting on makeup, but yeah, where's my mum gone? that side I find hard.
That would be lovely under that. That'd be really nice under that.
You're a bit of sunshine.
Well, I'm so happy that I discovered it this morning.
Oh, wonderful.
If a person isn't changing every day and putting on clothes that they wore yesterday because they're not remembering that they wore them yesterday, opening the doors or having something hanging on the doors that draws the attention, and having a laundry basket where the last night's clothes are out of sight is enough sometimes, just to, oh right, I haven't got any clothes out, so actually, oh, them trousers look nice, let's open the wardrobe and get a full outfit out.
I found a pair of grey trousers, but they're very tight.
Well then, can you move in them?
Yeah.
Can you breathe?
Yeah.
As long as you can breathe,
Now,
you're all
does
right.
that go over?
Yes, it does. Now that goes very nicely.
Yes.
It's how we set up the environment to support ourselves, but also how we can set up the environment to support our loved ones.
Once you get to having full-time care, you can support someone to look good again.
Do you like it? Here.
As a carer, one of the most important things is to know what's going on with the person you're caring for. Absolutely. If you can understand what is happening there, you will end up with far more patience.
Right, tea or coffee you like, don't you?
Coffee for me,
Coffee
please.
in a glass?
No, in a cup, thanks.
If we actually think about the number of steps that it takes to make a cup of tea, if we forget one of those little processes in the making a cup of tea, so for instance we could forget that we need to turn the kettle on.
Knock it on, that red light, that orange light comes on.
It's a really complex procedure that we do, and often people will not be able to store the information they need to fulfill the full procedure.
It's the one that you use.
Not that one, this one in the orange tin. Thanks.
Just be mindful that they may just need a little gentle prompt without being patronising.
Look, I'll show you, I just tip it. And I'll be buzzing around otherwise. That's a lovely amount.
So instead of saying, don't forget to put the milk in, it's more like, I quite like milk in my tea.
And then the milk. Milk. Thank you. That's very nice, having a cup of coffee made.
I found another sequence of my dad struggling to get back into bed. After the film about visual perception, I thought the patterned sheets were the problem. But one of our experts, Nick, pointed out that it's also a process issue. He can't figure out from a functional point of view how to organise the objects and move them to allow him to get into bed. And when Mum gets upset in the morning about him pinching the duvet, Dad is tired and short-tempered.
Well, thank you very much.
Blood or what?
You've got all this eider down, the whole eider down. And we've just had the little, you've had all this on the floor, right? And all I've had is the cotton.
Sorry, I didn't notice.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I didn't notice it falling onto the
And
floor.
I found this and I used that as a cover. Do you remember what it said?
No, I don't remember anything.
Okay. Why are you in the mood?
Grandson JJ obviously missed these nocturnal wanderings again. But it is hard to be the perfect carer all day and all night.
You need to sort of wax and wane with the person you're caring for. I think one of the biggest important things to remember when you're at caring and you are stressed and you're tired is to actually count to 5, take your time. Say, for instance, you're helping someone shower. If the person is not in the best of moods, don't even go there.
What works to support someone one day, like a notice board, might eventually stop working.
What? Everyone?
Anyone is likely to be edgy at this time of night.
Living well with dementia is embarking on a journey with many stops and starts along the way.
Do you want a shower?
As a carer, being flexible and positive is a goal in itself.
Will my hair get wet?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Worth pursuing for you and the people you're caring for.